Trumpstein? Yeah, he's that bitch, all right.
In the House Oversight Committee. So with that in mind, let's get to some of the headlines that were featured over at DropSite News because they poured over the Ehud Barak emails to Epstein, which of course were leaked as part of a hack. They also reported on the various documents and emails that were released by both Democrats and Republicans in the House Oversight Committee. So with that in mind, I mean, this is based on hard evidence. They were able to report the following stories. Epstein helped broker an Israeli security agreement with Mongolia. Interesting. Epstein helped Israel build a back channel to Russia during the Syrian civil war. That's not all. Epstein helped Israel sell a surveillance state to the Ivory Coast. So let's get to some of the headlines that were featured over at DropSite News because they poured over the Ehud Barak emails to Epstein, which of course were leaked as part of a hack. They also reported on the various documents and emails that were released by both Democrats and Republicans in the House Oversight Committee. So with that in mind, I mean, this is based on hard evidence. They were able to report the following stories. Epstein helped broker an Israeli security agreement with Mongolia. Interesting. Epstein helped Israel build a back channel to Russia during the Syrian civil war. That's not all. Epstein helped Israel sell a surveillance state to the Ivory Coast. So let's get to some of the headlines that were featured over.
If you still believe Trump is a patriot, you're an idiot. If you still believe Trump is America first, you're an idiot. If you still believe Trump is a defender of Christian values, you're an idiot. If you still believe Trump is not compromised, you're an idiot. He broke his promise to end the war in Ukraine. Yeah, that was a lie. He promised to end the Gaza massacre. He broke his promise not to start new wars. Yeah, he lied about everything. Yeah, he definitely lied about Epstein. Yeah, Zionist puppet. He's got that little hat on. When was he converted to that religion?
Would you like me to sign this? I love it. Thank you.
Jewish Congress has produced. We're in the fight of our lives, and this is how we will fight back. First, we must use social media because that's what young people follow. And I must tell them that you must tell them the truth. Israel must finally get serious about public relations. If Israel can tell its amazing story to the world, then its enemies will, and they've done it now. We must expose every renegade teacher and their unions. We must expect moral courage from our political officials, not excuses. We must rebuild education around truth, not slogans and lies. We will have to reinvent how we teach the history of the Jewish people, because it's not working. Too many young people have never heard of the Holocaust. The World Jewish Congress has produced some excellent films that explain what happened. We want to show them in classrooms everywhere in the United States. And any candidate running for a seat in this building, whether for Congress or Senate, whose platform includes anti-Semitism, we will target them as they target us. Accordingly, we will start a fund to help their opponents. We cannot possibly sit by and let anti-Zionists determine our future. None of this will be easy. It will take time and effort from all of us. And Jews cannot fight this fight alone. Frankly, we shouldn't have to, because this is not a Jewish issue. It's a democratic issue. It's a moral issue. It's a human issue. Let us build a coalition so strong, so united, so determined that no extremist movement can fracture it. And above all, let us be bridge builders, unshakable, unapologetic, so that the next generation inherits a world defined not by hatred, but by humanity.
Figures, look who Trump picks to be the head of the Fed. David Rothschild and Ronald Lauder, whatever, are the heads of the World Jewish Congress. Anthony Weiner, that Jew that ran for New York mayor years ago. Let's see this.
Weiner's laptop had kill switches in it. It was filled with crap that wasn't supposed to be there. We never get to see it. Supposedly 9 cops watched the videos on Weiner's laptop. They had to keep leaving the room because they couldn't stand what they were seeing, and all 9 are now dead. And there's names and faces and deadness, right? They're real people. Now you can say, well, maybe they died for other reasons. I go, but it's still 9 cops. You know, it's like the 5 cops who died after January 6th, right? 4 of them were suicides. According to AI, there were about 80 cops really in the thick of things. 4 of them died from suicide. Weiner's laptop had
all these suspicious things going on with this little tribe.
Well, today, the Department of Justice released 3 million documents in the latest Epstein drop, and some of the information in this drop was pretty darn damning against the president. These just don't sound made up. They just don't really sound made up. Very, very disturbing files. They were so damning that the DOJ actually removed the pages after the fact. But we have them. This is what we saw later on. Was this page not found when trying to access the documents? Previously, the documents were there. They're claiming, though, the DOJ is saying, no, we've released everything, we're done. What will be done about this? Probably nothing. In fact, this is what Todd Blanche with the Department of Justice, this is what he had to say.
I don't think that the public or you all are going to uncover men within the Epstein files that abuse women.
Yeah, because we redacted it all, right? Because these women apparently abused themselves. Ro Khanna has this to say. He says, no, all the files are not released, and you do have the names of the men, you're just not releasing them.
If Blanche believes that there is no cover-up, then he should release the 302 files. The 302 files are where the survivors name who these rich and powerful men are. But if Blanche continues to not release the 302 statements, to not release the prosecution memos, then it's a cover-up.
That's it. Just release the files. But instead, they're playing games with us and covering things up and then deleting things and then saying, we gave you everything and there's nothing else to see here. They just think we're so unbelievably stupid. It's all just very bizarre. And this is one of the biggest scandals with all these powerful people doing these very awful things that were clearly being done as a mode for blackmail so that everything in this country's foreign policy, all of our tax dollars, all of that being done because these sickos couldn't contain themselves. It's not just about the abuse of the girls, it's the abuse of a country. Well, it's been 1 week since Larry Ellison, ultra-Zionist, one of the largest donors to the IDF, has taken over TikTok. The U.S. government, under Joe Biden, signed a law that basically forced TikTok to carve out the U.S. audience and sell it so that the Chinese couldn't control it. The U.S. government said, well, that's a national security threat. Then Donald Trump came into office. He allowed the sale to happen to one of the biggest supporters of Israel, Larry Ellison, and U.S. users are reporting lots and lots of censorship. One thing that people noticed was that they couldn't even private message the word Epstein to people. If you private message Epstein, this is the message that popped up. Here's another one. This comment was removed. Somebody put a comment saying free Palestine. That was removed. Also, if you say free Luigi Mangione, that was also removed. Ben & Jerry's. This was like a video and this content was removed. So this is causing a mass exodus on TikTok. And the whole thing is so bizarre. We said, oh, well, we're trying not to be China. We're trying to defeat China. We're nothing like China. China controls its population. China censors its population. And now the US has a special version of TikTok that no one else in the world has. And us in the US get this special censored version. And that's how we defeated China.
Elon Musk had more ties to Epstein, figures in Epstein files. Trump had orgies with underage girls at his golf course in California. Some of the girls were missing, rumored to have been murdered and buried at the facility. The document also claims Trump had dealings with the infamous Mexican cartel. That figures. Oh, that just figures. Trumpstein booed at the Washington Redskins, or Commanders now, game for not keeping any campaign promises, spiking the Epstein files, sucking off Israel, and help covering up the assassination of Charlie Kirk. All right. Do the same with your right hand. Oh, they're both loud.
Foreign Every day, thousands of refugees arrive on this shore, hoping to resettle in Europe. Waiting to help them on the beaches of Greece are the last people the Syrians might expect. Volunteers from Israel.
Our job here is to receive the boats of the refugees that are coming from the Turkish side to the Greek side. There are many, many volunteers on the beach.
What we do is go to Hind Point with binoculars, searching and scanning the water, and you start looking for this black with orange dots in the view. And then it comes nearer and you start seeing the rubber boat and all the people on it. It's like 1, 2, 3, it begins. We understood that the biggest need is a way to communicate with the refugees who come. So we brought a team from Israel, which is Arab speaking, and the effect was amazing.
Hearing your language is very important to them, and then getting the instructions where to go, what to do next, what are the next steps, because they have a lot of uncertainty.
And although Israel and Syria are technically at war, none of that matters here on the beach.
Usually when they get to the beach, they're just happy to see people waiting for them.
Really?
I didn't say anything.
Ash Patel, the American people want to know, how does it feel to be a cup for Israel? Answer the question.
We're seeing and hearing what the FBI is doing on a daily basis.
You're claiming to serve the American people. You're serving Israel. Does it feel to be Israel's bitch? You don't care about kids getting raped. The American people want to know.
He's a patriot.
Patriot?
He's a patriot.
Rape kids? Is patriotism to you?
Thank you for your service, Darren.
Raping kids?
You're an idiot.
I'm an idiot? Really?
Yes, you are. I didn't say anything.
Ash Patel, the American people want to know, how does it feel to be a cup for